I understand that recently you had some experience or had an experience with the YouTube algorithm. Can you tell us about that? Tell us about how it made you feel.
I've been making booktube videos here on YouTube for several years and, had built up a community of commenters and friends and other channels and, enjoyed what for me I thought was some real success here. For me personally, some success on YouTube. But, after a little while, you kind of start feeling like you're stagnating, I guess, and you start looking for a change and maybe wanting something different, something maybe, I don't know, to shake things up. So I decided to make some videos that were a little bit different than my normal videos and to, make some changes to the way I was presenting myself out there. And I did that, and then something just completely surprising happened. The YouTube algorithm came by and picked me up, and it lifted me to levels of views and engagement and subscribers that I'd never experienced before. And even though I'd always been happy with my YouTube experience, it was so powerful and fun and enjoyable. I just wanted to keep going, and it went on for about a month, and it was great, and I had a great time, and I enjoyed it. And I thought it would keep going, and then it didn't. The algorithm just dropped me, and I reached out to it several times, trying to reconnect with it, and it never really seemed to connect. There were some, brief flirtations with the algorithm afterwards, but then it just dropped me. I was ghosted by the YouTube algorithm.
Okay, recently I had some unusual channel growth activity on my channel, and so I thought I would talk about that and how what I learned about the YouTube algorithm. I thought I would just start off by talking about the videos and kind of showing you some of the analytics. So in, let's see, October, and I'll show you here in a minute, I published this video called Don't Read These Modern Classics, and then in parentheses, unless you want to. And the title of the video was 11 Classics That You Don't Need to Read. And you can see there a minute ago, I published it on, I think, like October the 6th. And even like a week later, it hadn't had all that much growth. And then all of a sudden, it just really took off. Well, clearly, at that point, the YouTube algorithm had kind of picked it up for whatever reason. And so a lot of people were watching it. And as a result, I got 900 subscribers. I made more money from that video than I normally make in the year. And as I said in the next video that I made, I'd always intended to make a follow-up to that video, which was kind of like the opposite of that video to a certain extent. And I titled this one 11 Modern Classics I Wish More People Would Read. The show card says read these modern classics, and then in parentheses it says if you want to. So I published that about a month later, a couple of days short of a month later, and it really took off a lot more quickly. And it and the other video each did more than 60,000 views, which is about 59,000 views more than normal. And again, I picked up quite a few subscribers, and again, that video made quite a bit of money for my channel anyway. I don't have any other videos that are anywhere near that. And I kind of like this idea of making videos based on the number 11. So I made two more, or I've made two more so far, and I have plans to make more. The first was this one called Do Good Books with Happy Endings Exist? And it's 11 Modern Books with Happy Endings. I published that on November 17th. Maybe I published it too close to the other one, but you can see its numbers are nowhere near the others. As a matter of fact, to date, its number of views is 977, one subscriber, and then, something really closer to the typical amount of money I make in revenue from my videos. So I made that one. And like I said, I kind of like the idea of making the videos based on this list of 11. And so the next video I made was 11 books I hate or really dislike. And I think, let's see. Yeah, I published that one on, oh, come on, there we go. I published that one on December the 6th, so about a month after the other one, and it did much better than my normal videos do. And it's still doing pretty well. And, I thought to myself, what's the difference between, how well this video did and how well the first two video did? What did I do? What did I do differently? That's one of the things I want to look at I started to think about. And I also then noticed, and this is probably what some people have commented on that watch my channel, that, I experienced a big growth in subscribers. And I did, really as a result of those first two videos. Modern classics, you don't need to read these modern classics, and modern classic, which more people would read. I did see a lot of channel growth. And like I said, that led to a lot of questions. Okay, so now that you've seen how unusual those two channels were, and you've looked at the analytics for those two channels and the two videos in that series that I'm doing that followed it, and saw their numbers, I wanted to talk about what I think all that means, or what I might have learned about the algorithm and about, YouTube as a result. I've been on YouTube for a while, and I have to tell you that I'm really, really interested in how it works. And I'm really interested in why certain things take off, or why the algorithm picks up certain things and how it works. And so I think this experience gave me some insights, which I'm going to share with you. And they may not be all that, life-changing insights, but some insights I want to share with you, some things that I think. So that if you wanted to try to, do some of these things, if you want to try to grow your channel, maybe these things might be things for you to think about. So, the first question is, did I do something differently? And the answer is yes. I did something differently with those two videos. I had been experimenting with making my thumbnails differently for a while. For a long time, my thumbnails have looked the same, some kind of an image that somehow related to the content, and then text explaining what the video is actually about. And I've been doing that for so long that, I'm sure my videos are recognizable to my subscribers. As, hey, that's one of Bookish's videos, that they always look the same. But I had gotten kind of bored with that, and one of the things I wanted to do was to have more fun creating those thumbnails or those show cards. And so I started experimenting with just using like a whole picture, like finding an image on the web, using a whole picture, superimposing text over it, and I kind of started doing that. Well, if you notice with these two videos, that's what I do. So the first one, don't read these modern classics, or don't read these classic books, or whatever the show card says. There's a guy with a book on his head and a sofa, and it's kind of funny, and it's different than most of my thumbnails. I have to tell you, I think that thumbnail is the primary reason why that video got approaching now 70,000 views, which is not a lot for a big channel, but for a channel like mine, seems like a lot. But the thumbnail must be it, because there really isn't anything different. If you watch the video, it's still just me talking about books and sitting right here in this chair and doing the same thing. But the thumbnail is different. It has an image of a person, not me. It has books, has a little sense of humor, and then the text on the show card is provocative. Don't read these books, which seems odd for a BookTube channel, and I think attracted a lot of attention because of that and the image combined. And also, it's kind of a negative. The show card has kind of a negative thing, and so does the title. And I think perhaps, unfortunately, negative things attract more attention than positive. So the second video in that series was Modern Classics I Wish More People Would Read. And the title was 11 Modern Classics I Wish More People Would Read. And the thumbnails are similar. There's a person with a book. This time they're sitting on a bench, and there's no sofa, and they're outdoors. And that one did really well too, even though its title is less provocative and less kind of intended, or less perhaps likely to engender some kind of a negative response. It still got a lot of views. But then, as you saw in the other videos, I did another video, which just came out recently, called I Hate These Books, or that's what the show card says, and it's 11 books I hate, or at least really dislike. And I had a similar show card for that one, and it didn't do anywhere near the numbers. So I'm not sure that even though I think the thumbnail is really important, I'm not sure that success can be replicated strictly through a thumbnail. Okay, even though I do think there's some value if you want more views in change your thumbnail. By the way, in addition to the original thumbnail I put up for I Hate These Books, 11 books I hate or really dislike, or the original thumbnail was this, with a guy screaming at a book, and then I changed it to kind of just a green background and a guy or an arm dropping books into a trash can. And since I changed the thumbnail, there has been an uptick in views. No, again, nowhere near what was true of the first two. So I do think that changing your thumbnails and changing just that presentation is something that you could do perhaps if you want to attract more views. Now I know that there's a theory, and a lot of people tell you, well, the thumbnail doesn't matter as much anymore because when you hover over a video, it starts playing. That's true, but people aren't going to hover over videos that they aren't necessarily maybe attracted to or don't recognize the thumbnail. So I still think there's value in paying more attention to your thumbnail. The other things about this video which I think helped is, one, I mentioned the negative, and two, list videos. I think most of us know here on BookTube that list videos work out maybe a little bit better than others. So if there are lessons that I learned here, and there are insights I can give based on this really brief experience I had, this flirtation with the YouTube algorithm, these would be them. Number one, thumbnails still matter. You know, we are told that one way to build our brand and to build our channel is to come up with a thumbnail that we repeat over and over again, so that people recognize that, hey, that's that video from that person I watched before. And I do believe there's value in that, but most of that value is in terms of value to your subscribers. Your subscribers recognize your videos when they see them, and that's valuable. We certainly, you know, subscribers are great. I love my subscribers. I love all the interaction with my subscribers. That's the best part of BookTube for me, in addition to getting to have fun making videos and talk about books. It's that subscriber and subscriber interaction. But, you know, recognizable thumbnails are important for subscribers, but they're not nearly as important for people who maybe have never watched your channel before. If you want to attract somebody, you want to attract a lot of new viewers, maybe the key is to change up your thumbnails every once in a while to, you know, the videos you make, which you know are primarily going to be aimed at or going to be watched by subscribers. Then, you know, have your kind of brand, your style, or traditional style of thumbnail show card so that they recognize it. But if you're going to make a video about, you know, a more general topic or a broader topic or something different, then maybe create a different thumbnail or show card image. Another thing I think this highlights is that now with the algorithm, views drive subs, subs don't drive views. Okay, so this is probably a fairly obvious thing to say, but if you noticed, those two videos added about 2,500 subscriptions to my channel, somewhere along those lines, just from those two videos. Okay, so to me that proves that views drive subs. That doesn't mean that subs aren't really important. Your subscribers are your base viewers. These are the people who are going to click on your videos more often than not and watch them because they know you, they like your channel, they like how you do things, they like the books you talk about, whatever it is. They're going to come back over and over. That's your base of viewers, and they're incredibly important as viewers, not to mention as people with whom we interact with, that we like, that we come to know through our channels, which again, I'll point out, is the best thing about BookTube to me. But subscribers then don't necessarily drive views. Views drive subscribers. However, obviously, the more subscribers you have, the more base viewers you have, and the more base views you get, and the more people who click on your videos because they know your videos, they like you, they've watched your channel before, the more people who click on those videos, and therefore the more likely your videos are to gain the attention of the YouTube algorithm. Another thing I think that I learned here is that this is not necessarily replicatable. That the success of those two videos in terms of views is not something that I can easily replicate. Again, I have not replicated it since those two. And I haven't necessarily been trying to. Some of my videos are that kind of video, and some are just the videos I always make. And since those kind of videos are not necessarily replicatable for a channel my size, that kind of success in terms of views, I think it somewhat would be really frustrating and pointless and self-defeating to pursue views for that reason. Chasing a lot of views when your channel is so relatively small, I think doing that and making your whole channel about that, I think would be really self-defeating. So I would encourage you to be really, really careful about that. Anyway, again, this is not intended as advice, hey, you should do this, this absolutely works. This is just some insights I think I gained from this brief experience, my brief flirtation with the BookTube algorithm. I'm not changing my channel, and I would hesitate to encourage anyone to change it, but you know, a lot of people do want their channels to grow and are really gratified by channel growth. Anyway, look forward to your comments in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching.